If you have the deep determination to succeed, you will not fail. You are watching Denise Smith, and I'm your host today. We're talking about smart buying. Smart buying. Now, you know, if you're thinking about purchasing real estate today and you have a few questions in your mind as to what you might want to think about and might be curious about, I would think you would want to immediately decide on which neighborhood would you like to live in. The neighborhoods are so important. And you know, neighborhoods are important because each time that you're visiting the neighborhood, whether it's in the morning or whether it's in the evening or whether it's during the day, you have different types of neighbors in the neighborhood. So if you're thinking about purchasing real estate, be a smart buyer. Drive around, take a look at what neighborhoods you like to live in, and maybe late at night, go and drive and sit there and see what kind of traffic you have at nighttime. Go early in the morning at 6 or 7 or 8 in the morning and see what kind of traffic. Do you have people that are leaving and going to work? Are you having people that might need to be taking their kids to school? You know, little do we know, sometimes do you have a fire department close by? Do you have a firehouse close by? Do you have a park? Maybe do you have a school close by? Because you see, all of that affects your neighborhood. So if you're thinking of purchasing real estate today, be a smart buyer. Think about the neighborhoods that you would like to live in. And not just think about the people, because you see, we always think sometimes that the neighborhood, it's location, location, location when you're purchasing real estate. But sometimes, depending on your circumstances, whether you want, if you are a couple that has children, little children, then do you want to be by a school? Would you like to be by a park? Do you have teenage children? Would you like other types of amenities around you? Libraries. What would you like around you? You know, a lot of people do not get to know their neighborhoods like they used to. It's really important that you know your neighbors and learn about your neighbors and find out who they are. You see, neighborhoods that are really neighborly and are good neighbors to each other, that makes a great place to live. And why do you want a good neighbor? Why do you want a good neighbor? A good neighbor shows you if your garage door has been left open and you drive off and you're in a hurry to go to work. They might call you or let you know that you need to shut your garage door, or call or maybe even go and close it for you. If you're having car trouble and you don't know and you're trying to get to work, it's important that you know the neighbors. The neighbors should help you through the process at any given time. When you're looking at real estate, you always want to know it's more than just price. I realize that you have to find out what you're pre-qualified to buy so you'll know what areas can you purchase in. But first, get to know the neighborhoods. This is so important. If you're a person that's trying to see if you're ready to buy, if you really don't know if you're ready to buy, that's why you're going to do your footwork and you're going to do your homework. You're going to look in newspapers, and you can even look online. A lot of times you can go to different websites and see houses that are on the market. And that's how you're going to find out which neighborhoods are selling for what prices. Also, I cannot recommend enough to find a licensed real estate agent or real estate broker. And you want to find one that is selling in the neighborhood that you're looking in, and one that maybe you can even get a referral from. Find a real estate agent that has references. Also, the good questions that I have that people ask all the time: how many years have you been in the business? Now, I've been in the business since '79. I have started in real estate when I was 14 years old. I started in real estate financing. And in 1979, that's when I started my real estate career. But you know, it's important. I have been in every facet of real estate, buying, selling, you know, helping people to buy and sell. But it's important when you're thinking of buying real estate, you want to look on your own a little bit so you can find out kind of what locations you want. Then you find a reputable real estate agent that can help you. This is really important because that is going to be part of your team to purchase real estate. We're talking about teams. If you surround yourself with a very good team of people that you want to buy real estate. Now, you want to purchase real estate, so you're first going to look at what you can actually buy and what location. But then you're going to start surrounding yourself with a good team. So we talked about a real estate agent or a real estate broker. But also, do you know that your friends and your neighbors and the people that you know, your sphere of influence, is part of your team? You see, you're not going to have eyes to look everywhere for real estate. You're going to need a team of people that are trying to help you and think like you do. You want to buy real estate, maybe they want to buy real estate. Surround yourself with like people that are encouraging, loving, and kind, and supportive of your dream, supportive of what you want to do to purchase real estate. So they might be driving around and they might jot down houses for you in certain locations. You could tell them, this is the house I'm looking for. How many bedrooms, how many baths? Do you need a backyard? Do you need a garage? Do you want to be by BART, or would you like to be by a transit system of some sort? Bus, BART? Do you need to be by a freeway, easy access? Where, the rule of thumb generally is that you want to be within 25 minutes of where you work. That will keep time for your car. It will help you in terms of your life and dealing with your family and just relating to your family. So when you want to come home and eat at night, you won't be on the in traffic for long periods of time. So these are the things when you're being a smart buyer and you want to have smart buying. You want to look at everything that you're going to have to deal with. What are you going to have to deal with? You're going to first, we already talked about, you're going to put your team together. You're going to put your real estate agent together. You're going to look at the neighborhoods that you're interested in. And know that it's really important that you're going to have to make sacrifices. There's some things that you may not be able to get all the time. If you might want a 4-bedroom, so you might lower it to 3-bedroom. If maybe you don't want a garage, maybe a carport would be better. Think about this. Do you want a condominium? Do you want a single-family dwelling? Do you want a 2-unit building? Do you want a 4-unit building? What would you like? What type of property would you like? Would you like a property that's going to generate income? Would you like an income generator? Or would you like to purchase real estate with a friend, with an associate, with a family member? That would help you to boost what you can qualify to purchase. So if you're smart buying, write down everything that you want in your house. Everything. How many bedrooms you want? Do you want a kitchen with a lot of counter room? Do you want a lot of cabinets? What do you want? Really think about it. Do you want a property that's no maintenance at all? If you want a property with no maintenance, then you might want a condominium or a townhouse. This is really important. A smart buyer makes smart decisions so they do not have to fail in the long run. You see, you have to prepare, or you should prepare to fail. You see, if you really want to purchase real estate and you know that you want to purchase real estate, well then write down everything that you're interested in purchasing. What is it that you want? What neighborhood do you want? What do you want in that home? Would you like to have a backyard? Backyards sometimes are good, but it's also high maintenance. This week, I got a question in regards to fire insurance. Fire insurance. When you purchase real estate, the bank is going to require that you have fire insurance. So the question came in, do I have to have fire insurance in purchasing real estate? And the answer is yes. The bank requires that you have fire insurance. And of course, you want to have insurance also, because in the event your house burns down, you want to be able to have an insurance plan that will be able to rebuild that property. So yes, you do have to have fire insurance. the question also came up is, I have a senior citizen that purchased their property and they paid it off completely. The question is, do I have to have fire insurance? The answer is no. You do not have to have fire insurance if the bank is if everything is paid off. But it would be prudent that you obtain fire insurance. And what I would do is first find out what the house is worth. Because you see, the worst thing that could happen to you is that you purchase a property, you pay it off, the house is a thing that happens that's awful, the house burns down, and then you have no insurance. If you have no insurance, that means you cannot rebuild that property unless you have a couple $100,000 somewhere somewhere. Because if it was in the house, it might have burned up with the house. So if you have it in the bank, great. So it's prudent to make sure that you have fire insurance even if your house is paid off. The bank won't require it because you no longer have a loan on the property, but it is prudent to have fire insurance. Now, I had another question that came up. In purchasing real estate, do you have to occupy the property for a certain amount of years? Say that the question was, if I say to the bank, I am going to own or occupy that property, I'm going to check the box that I live in that property, is it a requirement that I live in that property for a period of time? The answer to that question is yes. You do have to live in that property because you stated you were going to live in that property. Does the bank say for a period of time? Your intentions are to move into that property. So yes, you do need to move into that property. Otherwise, it could be considered as fraud. If you say that you're going to live in a property and then as soon as you close that property, you rent that property out, that's fraud. And the bank does not want to have a property that an owner doesn't live in, because you see, you'll have a lower interest rate. You have a lower interest rate if you own or occupy that property. So you want to make sure that you do what you say you're going to do to the bank. So if you're telling the bank that you're going to live in the property, then you want to live in that property. If you're telling the bank you're going to rent that property out, be honest, because you see, that will affect your interest rate. And I have really found sometimes there's some banks that will actually investigate it. So you have to be very careful. When you say whatever you say on that loan application, you have to make sure. There's a box at the end of the last page that says, I verify that this is true and correct under penalty of perjury. So when you sign that application and you're putting your income in and you put in your debts and you put in your intentions to occupy that property, that application has to be correct. If it's not, you can get in trouble. So you could be penalized from the law perspective. Now, completing a loan application. If you want to complete a loan application and you're ready to purchase, smart buyers not only write smart buying and smart buyers, what they do is they jot down everything they want in the property. They jot down the neighborhood they want to live in. They look at the neighborhoods and they look at all hours. They don't just choose nighttime or morning. They choose all hours of the day, lunchtime. If they really want to live in that neighborhood, you want to know what's going on in that neighborhood. And do you know that from block to block, the neighborhood changes? You can go 2 blocks or 3 blocks, and you could be in a whole different neighborhood. So it's really important that you drive around, scout it out all at different hours, and find out who are your neighbors. It's always nice to know who your neighbors are. Do you know there are times that there are neighbors' squabbles? That I don't ever like to talk about. But there are squabbles. I had a phone call that came from a neighbor from a property that I owned, not that I lived in, but it was a rental property. And they were concerned with the neighbor because they said the neighbor was playing music loud. and it was in a different language. And they said that they were very concerned with the fact that the music was played at midnight, very loud, in a different language. And they would call the police would come out, but nothing would really take place. They would turn their music down, and then the police would leave, and then they would turn it back up again, and at midnight, they're calling the police again. Well, this would go on time after time after time. Before you know it, the neighbors were feuding. They were fighting because they were tired of the police coming to their home. So before you know it, the neighbors started feuding. They started fighting. The police had to come more than we want to mention, and ultimately, there were lawsuits that were filed back and forth because of the fact that I rented to the property and the people next door owned their property. So because the neighborhood, because they were fighting back and forth, because they had a legal battle, ultimately that tenant moved out of the property. But you see, that doesn't always happen. So know that when you are wanting to buy in whatever neighborhood you choose, when you're going all hours of the night, all hours of the day, early in the morning, I used to have a property where at 5 in the morning, there was something that would go cock-a-doodle-doo every morning at 5 a.m. They were, I guess it was like a little farm in their backyard. And let me tell you, how annoying that is at 5 in the morning. I didn't know that was taking place, but I bet you if I was driving around in a neighborhood, I would know if I went by there early in the morning. It's a concern. It's a concern as to where you live. Where you live is your peace of mind. So when you have peace of mind, knowing when you purchase your first piece of property or your second piece of property, do you know the first property that you purchase will lead to a better second property and a better third property? If you keep putting it off, you'll never get in to securing your financial future. So you can't keep looking at property and keep passing it by, because what happens is that every year it's something that's called inflation. And inflation, things go up. Yes, in 2008, we had a depreciation, which we were in a little recession that caused values to go down. But for the most part, inflation causes things to go up. So I would always say that you need to sacrifice on something, make a decision on your neighborhood, drive by, take a look, and see if it's something that you're interested in to make sure that you're comfortable. We talked about loan applications. And now loan applications is, you want to make sure you have your down payment. You want to make sure that you know what's on your credit report. You want to know what you have to deal with so that when it's time, you know, smart buyers know what they're getting themselves into. They've already verified the interest rates. They've verified which banks they want to work with. And you have to shop the interest rate. At all times, you're not going to get right now, we're in the all-time lowest of interest rates. But by the time you get to the point of completing a loan application, that means that you're ready. You're ready to purchase real estate. I have several banks that I work with, and not all banks will tell you yes. You might even get maybe 4 or 5 no's before you get that one yes. So that's why you have to shop the loan. You see, you shop the loan like they're shopping you. So you make sure when you complete a loan application, you make sure of what interest rate that they're offering you, and look at the difference between a 15-year loan and a 30-year loan. Generally, a 30-year loan is a lower interest rate. A 15-year loan is a little higher interest rate. Well, actually, it's the other way around. The 15-year loans are a little lower of an interest rate, and then a 30-year loan is higher. The interest rate is a little higher. They try to tell you that, and it is a blessing to get a 15-year loan, but generally your payments are a little bit more. So I would always say, work it out, get yourself a 30-year loan, and then from there, you can pay off the loan in 15 years, but ask the question of the loan. Do you have a prepayment penalty? What that means is that if you win the lottery and you want to pay that loan off, or maybe if you get a bonus in your paycheck and you want to pay a little more on the principal, that means that you will be able to not have a prepayment penalty, which will be a fee that they will charge you for paying off your loan. Can you believe that? That's amazing to me. But if you're looking and you've received your loan application, you've written down, we're going to just go over one more time before we go off the air. If you've written down everything that you want in a piece of property, you have scoured the neighborhood, you have driven by the neighborhood in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening time, late at night, you've driven, sit back, just sit back in your car and just listen to what's going on. That's a good way to decide on if that's the neighborhood for you. And then watch the neighbors and see what, are they upwardly mobile neighborhood? Do they leave early in the morning and go to work every day? Because you want to be in a working neighborhood. You want to be where people are working. And because when they're working and they're striving, they're going to love their neighborhood and they're going to take care of their neighborhood. That's why you want to be with people that are like-minded like you. If you want to purchase real estate and you want to be a smart buyer, then do your homework. Do your homework. Find a real estate agent that's going to work with you, that's going to help you through the process. You're going to make sure that when you choose to purchase real estate, that you know who you're going to work with. You're going to know what neighborhood you desire to be in. You're going to know what you're going to actually sacrifice on. Are you going to sacrifice on your square footage, or are you going to sacrifice on your bedroom or bath? This is a good time when you decide if you're going to buy with a family member. Do you want to buy with a family member to boost up your income? Do you want to buy with an associate to boost up your income? There's all kinds of creative ways to purchase real estate. All you have to do is investigate the different options that are available to you. Get pre-qualified. Make sure that you find out which banks have the lowest interest rates. Shop the loan. Shop it. Shop the loan. Like you're shopping for a property, shop the loan. Now, you might be someone that have already purchased real estate several times. You feel like you are good at this now. If that is you, and you're thinking about maybe buying or selling, maybe selling the property you're in and maybe buying another one, maybe your children have moved away, and therefore now we call them empty nesters. You have a large house and you want to trade down. Give me a call. I'll be happy to give you a pre-market analysis, which will give you just what the values are in your neighborhood. If you're looking right now and trying to decide on should you trade up or trade down, just, it's free. We have free consultation. We can verify with you whether or not the options that you have available to you. All we do is give you information so that you can make a decision on whether or not you should buy. Look at the programs that are available to you in your county and your city. Because every bank, generally, most banks, have first-time homebuyer programs. Most city and counties, they have first-time homebuyer programs. They give you certificates to verify, and they'll tell you which banks are working with that. They have all different types of nonprofits, too, that will help you. So if you don't have a down payment, there's some organizations that will help you. Just be vigilant in trying to find out how you could purchase real estate. Find a like-minded real estate agent that's going to be part of your team. Find the people and surround yourself with kind, loving, encouraging people that have the self-control to be able to help you in the process of purchasing real estate, and to really be able to know when they can just listen to you. Because see, you're going to need help through the process. We never get anywhere by ourselves. We always have to take on a team of people to help us, whether it is your friend, your family member, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle. You just want to surround yourself with like people that are going to help you to realize your dream. There's so many things to real estate, so many aspects to real estate. If you're thinking about getting into the real estate market and you're trying to think, should I get a real estate license, or should I go and work for a company? Real estate agents are commission only. So commission only real estate agents mean that if you don't sell a house for a period of time, you may not get paid. That's self-employed. You're self-employed. So if you're thinking of purchasing real estate or even going into the real estate business, you might want to look at real estate appraising. You might want to look at real estate underwriting. You might even want to work for a bank. You never know. But find out different ways of real estate. They also have schools at the schools that right now with the different cities, different counties, they have schools that you can go to that actually teach you real estate. You have to go through basic classes in order to be able to actually receive your real estate license. So if you're looking at real estate today in any aspect of real estate at all, feel free to give me a call. There's a number you can call if you have any questions at all. You could email me. The email will show up on the screen, and you could email me for any questions that you might have. And if you have any questions at all, I'll answer them on the air. If you want to purchase real estate or have any questions at all regarding real estate, feel free to give us a call. But you can buy real estate. If I can do it, you can do it too. If you decide at any given time that you're not ready to purchase real estate, give yourself a 12-month to a 24-month period. Give yourself time, because you see the real estate market really doesn't change much over a period of time. The year or 2 years, the rates are at their all-time lowest, but it really hasn't changed that much in any given year. So you still have an opportunity to purchase real estate. Do not get frustrated. Do not get discouraged, because you do have an opportunity to purchase real estate. Get to know your community. Find out different avenues for yourself. See who you can pull your time with family members or friends, people that have like minds like you to purchase real estate. Do not be around discouraging people. Stay encouraged knowing that you can purchase real estate. You know, if there's anyone, if I can purchase 120 units and I'm from Hunters Point Bayview from San Francisco, I believe that if I could write a book from rags to real estate, I believe you could do the same thing. So if you want to purchase real estate and you have any questions at all about real estate, feel free to call that number or send that email, and I will answer any questions. If you have the deep determination to succeed, you will not fail. Continue to dare to dream with me, Denice Smith, your host, and we'll be here till the next time.